So, hi guys. Thanks for your patience. We thought we'd wait because I know parking's deadly downtown. It took us a while, round and round and round. So, thank you for coming out. My name is Jazz, and I'm with Giving Up the Ghost podcast. And this is Ashley.
Hi, everybody. As Jazz said, my name's Ashley. I'm from Winnipeg Paranormal Group. So, we're here for all your paranormal needs, whether they be at home investigations, public investigations, group events, whatever you need, we're here for you. And then we have Chris tonight. So Chris is from the Winnipeg Ghost Busters. They are a charity organization. They do some amazing work in and around Winnipeg, and Chris also used to work with Winnipeg Paranormal Group.
So I did. It was a long time ago now, but yes, I did. Yeah.
Maybe we should just do it.
Oh, sure. We'll just hand it off. Yeah, so Chris has some of his own stories. So not only is he with the Winnipeg Ghost Busters, you two never worked together, but like two ships in the night, right?
Yep.
So he's going to share some actual ghost stories and then talk a little bit more of what the Winnipeg Ghost Busters chapter does for charity work to raise money for Children's Hospital and all that good stuff. So, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
There you go. Does anybody here believe in ghosts? Yeah? Yeah. Skeptics are okay. That's okay. Don't be shy.
We like skeptics.
We like skeptics. So, it's all good. So, yeah. So, just going back again, with Giving Up the Ghost podcast, we are Winnipeg's first and only paranormal podcast. You probably see us on Facebook a lot because that's our app of choice. We love collecting stories. We love sharing stories. We love scaring the shit out of you. We drink and swear a lot, but that's okay. And, so in our travels, we were able to meet Ashley and Kelly from the Winnipeg Paranormal Group. We've been on quite a few of their public investigations. Highly recommend it. Really, really, really cool stuff. If you were a non-believer before and you went on one, you probably would start to click together and no, there's something out there. This stuff's for real. So going back to what I said about the Winnipeg Paranormal Group, Ashley and Kelly do private investigations as well with their group of people and volunteers when and where needed be. So I'm going to let Ashley fill you in a little bit more what they do as far as to help people out who are having a stressful time with a house they might be living in that's haunted.
Thanks. So Winnipeg Paranormal has been around since 2008. We primarily focus on client investigations. So if somebody's having problems in their home and they think it's paranormal, they can reach out to us and we will come and see what we can find out for them, present any evidence that we do get on the investigation. And then after that, we also like to do public events where we actually teach you, the public, how to use the equipment. We bring you out to a haunted location, teach you how to use it, and then let you investigate. So we'll be your guides, but you are the investigators. So we've had a lot of fun with that. We've been able to get into a lot of really cool places and have made a lot of really interesting contacts that we hope will last forever, including Chris.
Oh, I thought she meant me.
Well, you too, of course.
That's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I thought that was just a given.
Yeah, it's a given. I know.
So, Chris, can you tell us a little bit about the Winnipeg Ghost Busters?
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
As well. So the Winnipeg Ghost Busters were formed in 2018. We raise money for charities across Manitoba. Our charity of choice, you could call it, is the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba. But we have given donations to Kidney Foundation, Cancer Care, several others, too many to name. And to become a franchise of the Ghostbusters, and how you can use the name and the logo and that, back in 2016 or 2017, before we became a franchise, Sony opened it up that anyone could become a Ghostbuster if you in turn do good in your community. So community service acts are like raising money for charity, which is what we do. Mm-hmm. So you applied for it online. This was before my time joining, but you applied online, and then they would send you a certificate, which was signed. Ours is signed by Ivan Reitman, which was nice to mm-hmm. get before he passed. And so we're officially recognized by Sony Entertainment, Ghost Corps. They're that unit of Sony Pictures. So we go around every year raising money for charity. This year is a huge year for us. We're at the end of this year, we're aiming to hit over $100,000 raised all time. So we have the, thanks.
That's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's the Golden Trap campaign. So if you search us on Facebook, it's all over there right now.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the community? Like, obviously you raise money, but how do you do that?
Yeah, there's our flagship event every year is Winnipeg Comic Con. Comic Con graciously donates like a 30 by 20 space for us every single year. We have different sets, different props. This year we're actually going to be building a set. Little preview there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be
cool.
A little bit more interactive and fun. You can't miss us. We have a 25-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So I think a lot of the time kids are told if they're lost, go to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Smart.
You can
That's
see
That's
it
good.
on the other side.
Yeah.
So we do Comic-Con. We've done Gold Eyes games. The last 2 seasons they had one was a Ghostbusters night, the next was an 80s night, so it kind of fit in with what we do. We did a video, we did the 7th inning stretch, we did Chase the Slimer, so someone dressed up in a Slimer
fun.
suit.
That would be
A kid chased him around, and so that was fun. And we do a lot of runs and walks, cancer care. The MS walk is coming up. I think we're going to be at that one again this year at the end of May. And then I Love to Read is huge in schools. So in January, February, March, schools do it differently. We'll go to the schools and read and maybe play up the Ghostbuster role a little bit more when we answer questions for them. And I should also say we are ourselves. We are not like a character from the movie. The names on our suits are ours. We have nicknames, but we're us, not characters.
Right.
Awesome. Do you guys, so Winnipeg Paranormal is here to help with paranormal needs. Have you guys ever done any investigating?
So we haven't done any investigations. The heart of what we do is the charity work, but we've partnered with, I want to get this right, Winnipeg Ghost Walk or Ghost Walk Winnipeg.
Yeah.
In October every year they pick one haunted location in Winnipeg and you can go for a tour and there's different rooms you can go in. The first one that I did was at the Millennium Center, so the old CIBC bank.
Cool.
Which was pretty cool. And the day before it, we went into the basement and then the sub-basement, it's huge down there. The boilers down there, we did the heat for all the buildings and the blocks going down Main Street.
And that's where the vault is too, right?
Yeah, the vault's right down there as well, yeah.
Heard about the vault.
So we were down there, we were right outside the vault actually.
Oh yeah.
And it was the day before they were telling us what we could do, where we could set up lights, and we kind of had fun with people on that one as well. And the lights shut off and turned on again. Well, there was no one else in the building.
I heard about that.
Yes, but no one, that has never happened. She said it's never happened before. We're like, okay, somebody's flipped the switch and off and on again. And it happened 2 or 3 more times that night. That was interesting. The more recent one was last October at the Dalnevert Museum. I had never been in there before. That place.
It was your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time. And I've lived here most of my life. So, we were asked to just go around, and some of us could be in the attic, and some on the main floor, and then some on the porch, and then some in the basement. So because there's 15 to 18 of us in the group, all volunteers, and so we were most of us were there. I was in the basement. And I mean, a lot of our equipment is purchased and modified, made to look movie accurate. This is the PKE meter, and this version of it that they came out with a couple of years ago, which most of our team has now, has an EMF detector in it.
Perfect.
So
you need one of those.
We've never had to use it before, right? Because it's that's not really what we do. So we were in the basement, we had them on, we were like, let's just put it into the EMF mode just to see what happens. And me and one other guy, they're not Bluetooth, they're not synced up or anything like that. What they say, so when, on an EMF meter, it goes to red or orange, that's there's something there. So for a PKE meter, the wings go all the way up, and when the wings go all the way up, that's the equivalent to turning to red on a regular EMF meter. So mine and Mike's were doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, and it wasn't just up, down, up. It was up a little bit, up, down, and then up, all the way up, and then all the way down. And this happened for 2 hours probably while we were down there.
Wow.
And I don't know, we were chatting a little bit before about some of the history of that place that.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit. not to bore, I tell this story a lot. So 2018, I was helping my mother-in-law set up, she had worked off and on with the Dolnivert when they expanded their visitor center, that nice newer part, onto the old house. And they had asked her to come back to set up the gift shop and stuff for Doors Open. Highly recommend Doors Open. We had Sydney Tugwell last month. She's great. Like, she does a lot of hard work for the community. And anyway, so as we were setting up, my mother-in-law kept sending me down into the basement. I don't like basements. I get bad vibes. And I'm like, okay. So I go down there, and I just had the most euphoric feeling going down there. Like, it was good. Like, it was really, really good. Like, I wanted to explore. I wanted to stay down there, you know, and it takes a lot to freak me out, and I get jarred and stuff, but I would gravitate any excuse to go down to the basement. And then I had to come clean because I'd keep disappearing. And I said to Margaret, I don't know what to tell you, but there's something about the basement. I feel a very warm, welcoming sensation. She goes, oh, you know why that would be? And she was a great historian. She knew a lot about Winnipeg and surrounding areas. She used to actually own the plug, but she's dead now, the Medicine Rock Cafe. She owned the Nunnery, the Tin Lizzie Carr Museum. Like, that was all her thing, right? So I mean, and before she passed, she owned the Grand Bazaar in Stonewall. So she knew a lot of people, a lot of things, rurally, you know, that word there. And anyway, she proceeded to give me a history lesson, and she said that back in the day when Hugh John was a magistrate downtown, because him and his family had owned the Dolnivert, and he would walk home from the law courts, you know, just down Broadway or whatever, and in his travels he would find street urchins, like little kids begging for money and all this kind of stuff. And he knew what happened to these little kids, because the constables would pick them up and throw them in Mont Street jail overnight and stuff, right? Because just to get them off the street. So what he would do, nothing nefarious, he would actually encounter these children. He would offer them to bring them to his house for food and to keep them housed over, you know, whatever they needed for maybe a day or two or whatever, in the basement. So these children were essentially taken care of and probably received like a lot of love and nurturing. Again, nothing nefarious, but they had a place, right, to sleep that was safe to them, and that's what Hugh John would do. So that is probably why, and she says, and that's probably why you felt so safe and nurtured downstairs. And it makes so much sense, really.
Yeah, we weren't scared or like weirded
No.
out. It was just like something was happening. It was almost funny at first. We were like, how is this happening? The wings are going up at the exact same time. In between tour groups that evening, Mike, the other Ghostbuster who was down there with me, he was adjusting something on his strap, and on his belt he had a walkie-talkie, which is just like a regular walkie-talkie, and it dropped to the ground from waist height. The basement, if you've never been in Dolnivert Museum, is very old. Like, the floorboards are not like level like this. They're very warped. They're all very warped, right? This walkie-talkie dropped off his belt, and I saw it happen, landed straight up and down.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know the odds of that. I don't know physics, and like maybe there's like a small percent chance that could happen. I don't know. It was just really weird that it stood up, and he's like, "You saw that, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that." But like, the other thing that happened in this same area, and now I'm thinking like, well, maybe it was like a kid that was like running around,
Right?
Right? You never
Yeah,
know.
sure.
So we do have our like big proton packs. It didn't bring it tonight because it's sitting on a chair. It won't be covered. So we had our packs on, and so Mike, at the very end, it was at the very end of the night, he was like, I'm gonna like take off the wand, and like there's 3 buttons that you press, one to turn it on, another one to turn on more lights, and then one to activate it. And he's like, just to see what happens. I was like, okay. So we were the only 2 down there except for the person that was like closing up the basement that worked there. And he turns on the first one, turns on the second one, turns on the third one, and it shut down.
Oh.
Like, okay, that's weird. So reset it. A few minutes later, tries it again. First one goes, second one goes, third one wouldn't go. Tries it a couple more times, got the exact same result. So we said, forget it. We went upstairs to the visitor center, so it's like outside the house part of it, right? And he's like, let me just see. Turns on the first one, works. Turns on the second one, turns on the third one, works, no problem.
Yeah, we've had glitches when we went there to record.
Yeah, I can't explain it, right? So I'm not saying it was something, but it feels like it was something.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to tell Chris and all of you another really, really quick story. The first year that we had the podcast in 2019, we did Doors Open. Me and my partner, Cher, my imaginary partner, because you'll never see her. She won't come out in public and stuff. We sat out on the porch at the Delitghted with a friend, a helper, and we would talk to people as they were coming and going for Doors Open, right? Now, we had done research. Like, we love history and hauntings. They go hand in hand. So quite often, if we do videos, you'll see us do the history and then the hauntings. Like, I put these little videos together. And we start reading the history of the Delitghted out loud. And, it's a nice sunny day. It's environment. We're just giddy. It's just, we're having a nice time, right? Without alcohol, of course. And all of a sudden we start talking about how Gertrude, who is the lady of the house, Mrs. Hugh John McDonald's wife. So, back in those days, everything's posh, only the best, living it up, like spare no expense with furniture, everything. And then he dies. Right? So he dies. There's no widow's fund back in like the 20s or anything like that. So apparently she salvaged, they had like a garage sale. She would sell off furnishings and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, she did quite well for herself because she ended up living at the Roslyn. And if everybody knows, back then that was poshy too, right? So the funny thing though is we started laughing when we were reading the history of her selling off stuff. Not that we're making fun of that, but apparently years before she had like a pug dog, like, her little trophy dog, her little dog. She loved her little pug dog. She went and had it stuffed when it died, and it was sitting in the china cabinet, and they sold it for $0.25. So we were like making light of this. So like we thought that was so funny. It's like, oh, you love your dog, but you sell it for $0.25, right? And all this kind of stuff. When I edit back that segment, like a week later, sitting in my dark office by myself, and then we're laughing, we're making light and fun of this, and all of a sudden you hear a voice go, lies. It's like, whoa, we pissed off Gertrude. That's not very good. You don't want to piss off the ghost. And then, of course, during the same editing of the recording, we're handing out business cards to people. And it's like, do you want a business card? Do you want a business card? And then you hear a little ghost girl go, yes, yes, yes. So, yes, the doll, I just got shivers on that one. I've been telling that story for 7 years. But I mean, yeah, like the place is very, very haunted. Mm-hmm. And there was other things too, but that's the most very specific of our first experiences.
Yeah, I highly recommend just going to check it out on a regular tour. I know they do the more haunted ones in the fall, but it's a great place, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've asked us to come back this year, so we'll be doing some tours, haunted tours there as well. So.
And I might be tagging along again.
I'm sure you will. We'd love to have you. So tell us, how did you get involved with Winnipeg Ghostbusters?
So it was 2022. So I was what, 39 years old, and I was like trying to find some things that, like when I grew up, that stuck with me. And I remember, I think I was on Instagram or TikTok or something, and I saw somebody put together like a Ghostbusters like cosplay thing, and I was like, that looks simple. It's just like this, like the flight suit, the belt, the boots. That's all you need. Of course, then everything else you just want after that, right? And so I looked it up and I typed in, like, because I knew I had seen the Winnipeg Ghostbusters at like a Comic-Con before I was involved. So I Googled them, and by the weirdest fluke, there was a video that came up on Google that said it was posted 6 hours before, and it was how to become a Winnipeg Ghostbuster.
Wow.
So I was like, that's like a sign.
That's meant to be. Yeah.
So I watched their like 10-minute video, and I'm like writing down places of like where to get the suit, where to get the belt, and I messaged them, and we got involved. I got involved with, that was like around October, so I did Comic-Con that year. That was my second event. The Millennium Center was my very first one, also in October. And one of the best things that's come out of this is the people in the group, like just ghost busting aside, everyone, most of the group are parents with kids 12 and under, kind of 5 to 12 or so. So everyone kind of gets along. We're all at the same age, between like say 35 and 45 or so. we all grew up with the same things. We've kind of like reconnected with our nostalgia, and it made me realize how much Ghostbusters was a big part of my childhood growing up as
For
well.
sure.
From the cartoons to the toys to the movies, and then the kind of resurgence that it's had in the last few years with the more recent films. Yeah.
Awesome. So if someone wanted to join the Ghostbusters, is that still open?
Anytime, like we say, anyone can become a Ghostbuster. Like, you don't need all of the extra gear that's on you. You just need the flight suit, the belt, boots, and the name tag. That's it. Yeah, we're always open to anyone to join. You can check out winnipegghostbusters.com. We're also active on Facebook and Instagram. Comic-Con, come and see us at Comic-Con as well. Yeah, always looking for new members. Like, our kids are members as well. Like, they'll come with us, and we call them the Junior Busters. They'll be the ones that at Comic-Con that will say something like,
Go be a Ghostbuster. Just kidding.
no, at Comic-Con we'll get the kids to be like, to bring in some adults that might have some money to donate to the children's hospital.
yeah.
And they're in
Smart.
flight suits as well,
Yeah.
That is too
They love
cute.
it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we've talked about Winnipeg Ghostbusters, which is an amazing, but we want to know ghost stories.
Yeah.
So you were part of Winnipeg Paranormal prior to me joining. You actually investigated my house.
That's crazy. I didn't remember that it was your house. That's funny. Yeah.
Can you tell us some of your ghost stories from when you were an investigator? And how did you get involved with Winnipeg Paranormal?
I wish there was a video posted 6 hours before. I don't know how I got involved. I must have just reached out cold to Peter, was his name?
Yeah.
Of course, right? Peter and Adam. I don't know if they're involved or not anymore. Probably not.
No,
Okay.
long
So
gone.
yeah, I mean, I must have just reached out to them cold and started coming on investigations with them. Met them at their house a few times, got to know them a little bit, and then went on. So yeah, we did a few houses. We did the Seven Oaks Museum
Oh, I
Oh,
love
nice.
once or
Seven Oaks.
twice,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Which was cool. The one that stands out with like some that I did. If anyone says like, have you ever had a ghost experience? This is the story that I tell. We were. I won't say like the business or whatever. It was in St. Boniface, older building. And we knew what the business was at the time. It was previously something else, and we were told not to go in with a preconceived, notion of what it was, because it could skew what we think.
Right.
So we didn't look up any history. Myself and one other member, we were in the basement, and every once in a while, where the EMF detector was a little bit lower, it would light up, not all the way to red, but light up. It was interesting. All the power was off. Like, no, we didn't have cell phones. Like, we were playing it very cool like that. It was super, super dark down there. We were in a boardroom, and so I was at the end of the table. The table went out this way. The other investigator was at a chair that was like right over there. And we put the EMF detector on its side in the middle of the table. This was a very big, long boardroom table. And we were down there for probably 40 minutes asking questions. And like you don't always, it's not like immediate every single time.
Right.
It takes a while. Sometimes you get nothing at all.
Yeah,
right?
you're sitting talking to yourself in the dark.
Exactly, right? So that's
You're not supposed to do that? Just kidding.
So we, and it was getting to the point of, we had to be out by, say, midnight or whatever. It was maybe like 11:30 in that case. We're like, nothing's down here. We're not getting anywhere. So I said something like, we're going to get going if you're not going to show your face or like light up the lights. We're just going to leave you down here. Immediately, bam, right to red and down.
Jeez.
And hadn't done anything all night on that table.
Yeah.
And I said, so after I looked at the other investigator and her jaws were picked up off the floor, I said, can you do that again, light the lights up again? Because we've been asking it that all night. I said, do that again if you hear. Bam, all the way to red, all the way down. We were like, thank you, we're out of here.
Yeah.
That's the one that stands out. I'll never forget that one. That's the one that stands out.
And what yearabouts did you join?
When did you join?
13-ish years ago?
Okay, what's that? 2013?
Yeah.
So this might have been 2011.
Okay.
11? 10, 11, 12.
And,
somewhere
and
in there.
honestly, is her house the reason why you quit?
Yeah. No, I don't remember that it was your house. Vaguely, now that you're saying that, maybe it's jogging a memory. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it was apparently.
Do you want to, this is probably new people, new crowd. Do you want to,
Sure.
Ashley's going to share a little bit about her house.
So this was, I don't know, we moved in there, my oldest at the time was probably about 2.5 years old. And we had moved in from an apartment into a side-by-side house. And he started asking for a nightlight. And we're like, well, why? Like, his room was pitch black before. We're like, why do you need a nightlight now? Like, it's, you know, and he's like, well, the dark man comes out of my closet. We're like, all right, you can have a nightlight. Yeah, that's fine.
This is already ringing a bell now.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah.
And then we started noticing other things that we had chalked up to, like, you know, new house, you don't know the sounds of it, or, you know, we were in a side-by-side, so, oh, that must be the neighbors. And then things like, you know, you start to get to know the neighbors, and they're letting you know when they're going away for a vacation so that you can keep watch on their house. And then you start hearing noises, and you're like, they're not home. That's not them. So we would regularly hear footsteps up and down our hallway, up and down our basement stairs. I had a handprint show up on my wall one time.
And it was higher than what the kids could do,
Yeah,
you're saying.
it was higher than where my son could reach at the time, so it wasn't him, and it was smaller than my hand. What else? Oh, I had somebody sit on the bed beside me. That one was...
Nope.
That was a nope for me. That was pretty much what kind of prompted me to really dive into, is there a paranormal group in Winnipeg that can help me out? Because whatever it was heavy enough that it actually had me roll to the middle of the bed. So it's like I can feel that there is nobody beside me. So it was quite an interesting house, and it continued right up until we left.
I was going to say, did you move?
We did, but not because of the activity.
Oh, okay.
No, we moved because we bought a house. So we lived there for about 5 years. Okay. It was active enough that we actually used it as a training location for new investigators.
The junior investigators.
The junior investigators. Yeah, we're like,
funny.
we know a haunted place. Come on, we'll teach you how to use all this stuff. So I think we actually ended up, after you left, I think my house got investigated another 2 or 3 times after that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but
And the little girl on the bed?
I was gonna say, do you remember anything about my house?
Now that you say like the dark man or whatever like that rings a bell, and like something in closets. I remember like some of the other members there were like eventually shouting to the closet to try to get something, to try to like. Some of those old members, they would really like try to aggravate things, and that was a little bit extreme. I think that was your closet. Maybe it was more than one closet. Was it a couple?
It was my son's closet.
Yeah. Okay. That is ringing a bell now.
Yeah. It was to the point where, if you remember Adam.
Yeah.
So he apparently didn't want to divulge any information, but after the investigation, he came back and said, "Hey, just so you guys know, my friend used to live in this house and had experiences there too." So.
The house gets around.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it was definitely interesting, and I'm sorry if it scared you.
No, that's totally the reason I left. No, I think I just got busy with life and another job, and it's hard to find the balance. So, yeah.
Oh, I understand that. So I have seen some posts for the Ghostbusters about a really neat event coming up. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's out there now. So the Prairie Dog Central is now under new management as of this year. They typically do that, like the Bonnie and Clyde, the robbers and all that, the train ride, which is great and classic. They've done that for years. They're going to still be doing that, but this year they're also doing themed rides. So I think coming up in May is a Star Wars ride. They're doing a superhero ride, I think a Wicked themed ride, a K-pop Demon Hunters themed ride, however you would do that. But they're doing a Ghostbusters themed ride. And a portion of every ticket comes back to the Ghostbusters, and in turn we give it to the Children's Hospital Foundation at the end of the year. The date is June 6th. It's going to be as immersive as we can make it as Ghostbusters. Lots of audio and possibly an Ecto-1 actual car, because our friends
6 times.
Judy and James that own 6 times have an Ecto-1 and have been gracious enough to let us use that for photo ops before and photos inside the car. So June 6th, Prairie Dog Central. I think it's at like 10. Train takes off at 11. The gates open at 10. But there's going to be photo booths and a whole bunch of stuff out there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
We've never done this before, so we're really
Nice.
excited.
It's my son's birthday. Maybe I'll have to convince him
There
that
you
he
go.
wants to go on a Ghostbuster ride.
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, happy birthday. By the way, you want to do what Mom wants. Okay, does anybody have any questions for Chris or Jazz and I?
Busted make you feel good.
Always. Who said that? Yes. We hear that song at Comic-Con like, I don't know, 400 times.
Oh, yeah. Looping, eh?
I feel really bad for the vendors across from us. They have to hear it the same amount of times. We're like, we have the remix, and then we have like the dubstep, and then we got the jazz version. We got the, yeah.
At least they're normally like Icon or, the other groups that or other events that would probably want to have you there anyway, so they
Yeah.
got to get used to it anyway.
We've done kids' birthdays, not for a while. It's interesting.
That'll be fun.
It's fun. It's fun for the kids, yeah.
Alright. Any other questions?
There's about 15 of us. And count our kids, there's like another 6 to 8 more, I guess. But yeah, we tend to get like a new member every year. Usually it is someone showing up at Comic-Con in like a full uniform, and we're like, why are you there? You got to come over here, and then they do. So yeah.
I was there last year in a ghost costume. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were handing out
Because I would do that.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
I have no shame. Promoting the podcast in a ghost costume. Yeah. But that was fun with you guys because, goofing around. Ooh, you can't catch me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And every year we would like induct someone into like the Ghostbusters, what do we call it, the Fire Hall of Fame. So sometimes it's been people that have been in Ghostbusters. This was a year before my time. Ernie Hudson was shooting Champions, the movie here with,
Right.
I think, Woody Harrelson. I think.
Right.
And the group reached out, found him, and they got to spend like a couple hours with him at the Fort Garry.
Of all
Oh, they
places.
opened up room
Yeah.
202, the haunted room 202.
Nice. Yeah.
So they got some photos with him in there, and they got anything they wanted signed. So he's an honorary Ghostbuster. There's also been like Dr. Goodbear is an honorary Ghostbuster
Right.
as well, right? So
Right.
try to do a couple of those every year.
And you were
cool.
telling us earlier how you guys were actually at the actual fire hall. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, this was super, super cool. This was in June 2024. Ghostbusters came out June 8th, 1984. So it was like June 7th was the Saturday, and so 8 of us flew to New York. It was my first time spending lots of time in New York outside of the airport area. And we hung out outside the fire hall with like, I'm not kidding, 1,000 other Ghostbusters that were there. The streets were closed.
Epic.
It is still an active fire hall. So
Okay.
they parked the fire truck on the street just in case, like, because it's really wedged in there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out, and then with all those people. But they had like all the ectos from 84, 89, 2016. They had all of them. The Afterlife one.
That's cool.
People in different costumes, like lots of what I'm wearing right now, but other ones like the Ghostbusters 2 or the cartoon outfits and uniforms. And if you go to the fire hall, if you happen to be in New York and there's a firefighter or two outside, they actually have merchandise that you can just ask them.
Wow.
They were painting up the logo on the pavement, and we were like, is your store open? And he just goes up and opens it, and this hat I got from there. We all got T-shirts, and all the money for that goes back to the Firefighters Burn Fund.
Oh, perfect.
Of New York.
Yes.
So
That's awesome.
It's all cash only, and yeah,
Nice.
yeah, such a cool experience to see that, to walk around the corner and see that fire hall for the first time as a
Oh,
Ghostbusters
yeah.
fan. It's like that's cool.
I would be stunned because
Yeah.
I've watched that movie so many times.
Yeah, it was trip of a lifetime. Honestly, it was
Awesome.
great. Yeah.
And has any members of the local group, has anybody met Dan Aykroyd?
I don't believe so. Ernie Hudson. But that's it, I think, of
Okay.
the original ones.
Just curious.
Yeah, but that's like a bucket list. I mean, if he's ever here
Oh,
at the
yeah. Yeah.
liquor store doing like
Yeah.
Crystal Skull vodka, I would bring him my
Oh,
proton
yeah.
pack and be like, sign this, please.
Oh, hell yeah. A little secret from our podcast. Every time we put an episode out into the universe. We're downloaded in 43 countries, just so you guys know. And just a little plug. And every time you put hashtags or whatever, I've been doing this for years. I hashtag Dan Aykroyd because, I mean, at some point.
He will see it eventually.
Some point.
He will see it eventually.
Yeah.
Our friend Chris Reid, who's like the Winnipeg's big UFO guy, right? And he likes paranormal stuff as well. He's interviewed on CGOB like every other day, right? Dan Aykroyd was being interviewed by Hal Anderson. This is maybe 10 years ago now. Okay. Because I think Dan was promoting his the liquor at the time, vodka or the wine that he had. And Dan Aykroyd brought up, well, Winnipeg's famous for Chris Reid, the UFO. So Dan Aykroyd knows about Chris.
Holy shit.
And we used to work with Chris. And I said to Chris, have you guys ever met? He's like, no, it's never worked out. He's in for the booze tour. He's in for the Avro Arrow when he shot that here, and then Chris was out of town. So they've tried to connect, but they've never connected.
Chris is our in.
Cool.
Chris is my in.
I have told Chris if he reaches out to Dan on his whatever page or something, because Dan knows his name, it might get seen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we gotta get Chris to share our stuff.
I mean,
sorry, Chris.
And not because I'm a stalker or anything like that. And it's not because, personally for me, it's not an obsession with Dan Aykroyd because of the Ghostbusters, but because his family has been so involved with spiritualism. And the reason why we first started doing the podcast was there wasn't enough focus on Winnipeg or Manitoba ghost stories. Again, 7 years ago, there was only 700,000 podcasts in the world, and I couldn't find anything good to listen to at work. I want to know more about what's going around the corner, what happened to that church over there kind of thing. And spiritualism, which is, of course, the Mecca, Dr. Hamilton, right? Hamilton House, if anybody knows, on Henderson Highway. And we were obsessed. That was our first episode. So, I mean, for me, for us, for the podcast, and I know, Ashley, we've talked extensively about this too, just all the investigation, or the seances, just everything that they put into research. And that's a lot what Dan Aykroyd's family was about in Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a stalker. Just want to clarify.
And just so, in case anybody is interested, Dan Aykroyd's father actually donated a bunch of stuff to the University of Manitoba's archives. Mm-hmm. So you can go there, you can go to the archives, it's free to go.
Make an appointment,
mm-hmm. and ask to see the Aykroyd collection, the paranormal collection.
Peter Aykroyd.
That's the next thing I was going to say. Is that?
It's really cool that there is actually a Winnipeg connection.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's great stuff. Yeah.
So we want to make that connection tighter.
Yeah. No, the other people who we met at a Comic-Con that have Ghostbusters connection, Maurice LaMarche, a voice actor for so many cartoons in the 80s and 90s growing up. He did Egon Spengler on the cartoon, so he was there. So we had inducted him as an honorary Ghostbuster.
Nice.
So it's nice when you have these people that pop in to Winnipeg and have that Ghostbusters connection. We'll try to connect with them as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I was going to say, I know you guys borrow James and Judy's Ecto 1 and everything like that, but their place is actually haunted, eh? So you guys should probably see if you can do a little dealio with them and, do a promotion and, I'm just saying.
We got to get back out there. Before my time with the Winnipeg Ghostbusters, they did do a night there or something, where they were taking pictures with the Echo, but I think it was super muddy and it was wet, so they were,
not good. No.
As it happens, they're on a farm, right?
Yep.
So, but it'd be really cool to get back out there for one of their other evenings out there.
We might be going back there privately. If you want to stay in touch.
Okay.
Yeah, love James and Judy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we love James and Judy.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, so we got 10 minutes before we break off.
Any more questions?
Don't be shy.
People come in.
Anybody? Bueller? No? Okay.
I got a question.
There we go.
So if somebody was interested in becoming Ghostbusters, they could go somewhere to get the coveralls and boots and everything?
Yeah, the suits and the belts and the boots are available locally. Marway Militaria, it's close to the airport.
Oh.
It's worth a Google, I don't know the address. Jamie is one of the, a co-owner of it. Actually, if you tell her that you are a Ghostbuster or want to become a Ghostbuster, you do get a 10% off.
Wow, sweet.
So you do get a little discount for whatever you want. Yeah, they do have the flight suits there, and they do have the blue flight suits, which is like Ghostbusters 2. So we're regulars there, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if, certain paranormal investigators wanted that fancy EMF detector, how would we maybe go
Oh
about
yeah,
getting
that's
it?
sweet.
So this one was actually, it was one of those not GoFundMe, but like crowdfunding or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
So you had to do it a couple of years ago, and it was it was called 2 in the Box, which is like a line from the movie. It came with the trap and the PKE meter.
Can you show it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Here, I'll hold your.
Sure.
Actually, we'll go like this. Pass it down.
So there's a few different modes to this, and the instructions were horrible. Anyway, so this is based off the same size, same look as Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire. So it has a little red switch at the back, which is a taser mode in the movie. So it lights up, and then there we go. So that would be this is what was happening by itself in the Dallenberg Museum, going all the way up.
This place has a
all the way
spirit or two, so that's why I'm just kind of curious.
It's not. I don't have it on the EMF meter right now, but so I'm doing that manually.
Oh, okay.
There is the taser mode, which is kind of bizarre.
What?
mode.
Yeah, so they only used it in Ghostbusters Afterlife at the very beginning. Egon, right before. No spoilers.
Oh,
The
yeah.
movie came out 6 years
Yeah.
ago. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah. Too bad. Suck it up.
He activates the taser right before he.
Right. I remember that
And then
now.
it goes
yeah.
under the chair.
Yep.
I remember.
And
Yeah.
that's where this is, right? Yeah. So he activates the taser thing. So that's this, which is it's never been in a movie other than that. And
Right.
Is it? We rarely do this. I actually usually tape mine up so it doesn't do it. Anyways, it's kind of goofy.
Ooh, ah.
Yeah. The other mode, the PKE mode, is
Okay.
cooler than this.
Actually, you gotta get yourself one of those.
I know.
They really should have. You hold this.
Yeah, of course.
You don't want to break it.
No.
That would suck.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the PKE. That's the PKE meter.
Sweet toy.
We have a whole bunch of different equipments. This here is from the Ghostbusters video game. Somebody made this on, I think, Facebook, and then it took 50 people to fund that. This in the video game was something that you would turn on like that and throw, and then vaporize the ghost in the game. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I noticed the trap down there.
The trap is down there. They did come with a pedal. I didn't bring the pedal with me, but if you did have it, you put it out on the cable, press the pedal, it opens up by itself. Press it again, it closes by itself, makes all the noises. You can have fog inside there as well, which we've done for different effects. So, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
mean, we do what we can to play the parts and really bring smiles to Ghostbusters is a multi-generational experience for people now, right? It's been around for over 40 years. So it hits the kids and it hits the adults who were kids when it first came out as well. So
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Great.
My boys love Ghostbusters, the new ones, and of
Yeah.
course I'm in love with the old ones.
Oh,
so-
me too. Yeah,
I mean, the new ones
Oh,
are
yeah.
good too, though.
they are.
All right. Any last time questions? If not,
Do any of you have experience with the voice ghost apps on the phone?
not that I'm aware of. No. Do you guys?
so we really don't use a lot of apps just because when we're on investigations, we turn our phones off so that they don't interfere. We do use one called Spirit Talker.
Yeah.
And we've had some pretty accurate results. For example, just this past 2 weekends ago, we were out in Saskatchewan doing an investigation with another paranormal group, and we try and go into these places blind, right? We don't do any research ahead of time. We try and do that after. And 2 names came across the Spirit Talker. One of them was Rose. Rose turns out to be the previous owner's mother. And then we got the name Mr. Right. And we're like, oh, come on, haha, Mr. Right, okay, yeah, funny. Turns out he was the community's pharmacist. And not only that, but there was a doctor's bag in one of the rooms. And in the doctor's bag was a receipt for Mr. Wright's medical fees. So
Yeah,
it was
pretty cool.
really cool being able to tie those together.
That's cool.
Yeah. So not only are you an investigator, you're like detective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Any other questions?
We do. Three or four now. One of them, so I said that I started by saying like we are ourselves. There is one exception. Vanessa is her actual name, but she can do the New York accent really, really well. So she suits up fully as Janine Melnitz. And at Comic-Con, she sits at the desk and does and she likes doing this, so we don't like put her there. We take shifts, but she likes being there. And the phone's there, and it's like it's Melnitz's desk. And she will play the part of Janine Melnitz all Comic-Con. She will not break for us. If we're like,
Awesome.
She's awesome.
yeah, no, she will not break. She keeps that accent, and she has the flight suit version. She has the 89 version. She has the 84 version. So she is like the one exception because she plays it so well and she likes doing it.
That's awesome.
We let her do that. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Any other questions? All right, we're gonna take a little break. Thank you so much for coming out, and
Thank you for having me.
we appreciate you telling us our stories and telling us about the Winnipeg Ghost Busters. Since you're here, if anybody does have any donations that they'd like to make to the Winnipeg Ghost Busters, Chris is more than able to collect those for you.
Sounds good. Yeah.
But otherwise, we are going to take a short break, refill your drinks, and then we're going
Ballots
to
for
come
prize.
back to the open mic session. So we do have a board up here for you guys if you want to sign up to tell stories.
Finish up. I got one more question actually.
Sure. We also have a draw just kind of in front of the table here, so please make sure to fill out the ballot, put your name in for the door prize. You do have to be here to win. We'll draw that just before the end of the evening tonight.
Just one. I actually got a question
Yeah.
for everybody here. So there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters!
There we go.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much.